Hey, what's up guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the FabFilter Pro L2 Legendary Day. It just came out. It's the second iteration of the Pro L series. The L either stands for loudness maker thing or limiter. Basically, it's a exceptional limiter. And this comes from the guy who's used Pro L for many years. And yeah, I'm just going to be going through what the differences are and my first impressions and kind of explaining the new features the best I can. So this is Pro L2, and you'll notice the big green button by default is on. This is true peak limiting. This is exceptionally awesome in every sense of the word. What it's doing is it's making sure nothing goes past 0. And you'll notice that there's no ISP detection. That's on by default now. And let me explain what that is. So you have Pro L here. We have our Bang & EDM track here with just a loop just for testing purposes. In the original Pro L1. If I turn on ISPs, inner sample peaks, it will detect things overshooting to 0.4. And when that happens, you kind of have to, especially with liberal loudness, the gain and stuff like that, you're going to want to increase the look at times to play around with that, give yourself more headroom and stuff, and all that. But when you play it in Pro L2 with true peak limiting off, it's always at 0 no matter what. If you have it off, right, same peak. So yeah, again, there's no what's this right here? Oh, true peak metering. Okay, so there is an ISP button. I stand corrected. So the ISP has been named to TP or toilet paper, which is fine. So that will oversample the metering. So then there's that. It will detect 0.04 overshoot, true peak limiting on. We're green, we're good. It does not go over 0. So that is exceptionally important and safe and very exciting. With that being said, we got some more oversampling going on. Now, 16 and 32 times oversampling is pretty overkill in 99% of situations. And, you really should be rendering with ×2 oversampling. But 4 times oversampling might be a good idea if you have some wacky look ahead times and you're getting like super duper loudness situations going on. So yeah, there's that. Excuse me. Dithering is, we'll get into that in another video. Let's go over to, oh yeah, so here is the dithering. Yeah, we'll just leave that off. The oversampling, not the oversampling, the meter readout. So we have something different here, which with the original Pro L, the readout just kind of goes left to right, or right to left, sorry. Right, you can't really change that. And that's not useful for reading loudness. You want to read kind of loudness over time. And with the Pro L2, it kind of gently moves around and then it snaps, just goes like this. So you can look at like a stretch of time and do like an informed decision on your loudness and what you're doing. Also, it also displays the amount of squishiness you're getting, 0.4 dB, just getting squished, which is pretty cool, which is, the amount we were going over in our inner sample peaking. Very useful. So you can change how it looks with this little guy here, which is the display mode. There was a name. And you can kind of go back to the regular right to left classic Pro L. If you're into that, you can use the original one, or you can use this one where play the entire track. Right, and every time it gets to the end here, it squishes it. So this way you can get the entire track in view, and you can look at the loudness in here and make some decisions, which is pretty cool. Because the really cool thing about the Pro L is it has really good loudness metering, which we're going to get into. So I'm just going to set that back to where it was. I like this. This looks really sharp. It's very visually pleasing. Their plugins, super visually pleasing. So we have a couple new compressor algorithms. Classic, transparent, punchy, dynamic, all-around aggressive. But we have 3 new ones, and we got modern here, which is it's more of an all-purpose. It's good for, I guess, what I call it is like maybe for like pop. I'm assuming, and it can get really, really loud. With you don't even need like crazy look ahead settings. You can get it really loud, and this is more for like pop, I guess. Like get it on the radio, get it at the door, sort of thing. That's modern. Bus is it's for like a drum bus or individual tracks. Kind of, I guess it's more of like a gluing limiting. I haven't really experimented with this. I can try it right now. Right, and that's that. I can play around with that later. And then we got like this new one, which is safe, which basically guarantees that you will get no distortion. So I wish I had this when I was mixing acoustic guitar and things that are very fragile. Safe is pretty safe. Right, it will not distort, which is pretty cool. And you'll notice that the look ahead and the attack time is locked when you're using that situation. Moving on, I said before that the Pro L has really good loudness metering, and they've added a few things. You go over here and you have your scale 16, 32, 48, and then you have the K system of metering, where you can shoot for classical rock or loud, kind of the attempt in the 90s to set a standard for CD loudness. And now you have like a more of a modern loudness situation. I'm not an expert in these, so I'm going to study and then get back to you. But it has a new kind of loudness meter. It's CD LUFS, the LUF kind of standard streaming and stuff like that. So yeah, you can have your goals of loudness, and which is not so much peak, but it's like an average level, and it's kind of filtered. Right. So there, you have your target loudness, and yeah, it just goes for like whatever you're going for. So, and there's so many different standards. There's like a standard for TV, for commercials, all sorts of stuff, and momentary, short term, and integrated, which I don't know what that is. But so I'm not going to pretend that I do, but we're going to get into that maybe in a future video. And yeah, you got this thing here. What's this do? Loudness reset button. See, the thing about the FabFilter stuff is if you have a question, you just hover over it, and it will let you know what it is up in the top there. And yeah, with this loudness, you can actually see what we're read. We want to stay at an average. So what we'll do is we'll kind of do that overall mix thing. And how like songs change over time. We can see the big picture in this plugin, which is pretty good. And we can do this, and we can go large. Right. Wait, I'm getting way too loud. But yeah, you know where to shoot for. It's pretty fun, and yeah, you can drag in some reference tracks and see what their loudness profile is, and you can kind of copy that and see what's going on. Anyway, that is Pro L. A bunch of new things like DC offset, which does a neat little filtering thing, and it's applied before limiting process, which I guess if you're using like hardware gear or something like that, or like an amp that wasn't quite whatever, you do that. It's a good idea sometimes, and then you have your one-to-one unity gain output. So the actual output perceivably stays the same, but you hear just the compression. So I'll go up to aggressive. Right, and there you have it. All right. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned stuff. Check out the links in the description. Take care and have a good one.